ready?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for coming. I have proposed to my homeowners association that we install a little library box in our garden. We have, isn't that
Those are
great?
so cute. I love those.
We have a central garden in our neighborhood. There are only 35 homes in our neighborhood, and they're in a triangle. And in the middle is this beautiful garden, and almost nobody ever uses it. So there are benches and roses. There's even a barbecue and,
Okay,
and
yeah.
picnic tables. And I thought, what a great way for us to build community unity.
Mm-hmm.
So
Community unity.
community. Oh, I should use that as the tagline. So I have two steps. One is to get approval by my homeowners association. It's only about $300 to buy the library box.
Mm-hmm.
With the stand and installation, it's only $500.
Mm-hmm.
It'll hold about 60 books.
Wow.
So I know there's a 2-story kind.
Is it waterproof?
And it's waterproof.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
There are 90,000 of these boxes put out by this nonprofit around the world.
Wow.
Is
There-
that great?
I
there's
had
one
no
near,
idea.
There's one near my fiance's house.
Oh,
When
that's
I
No,
go to
I've seen them.
Yeah.
But, okay,
There's one near
cool.
my mom's house. That's
Yeah.
how I got this idea. So the first is to get approval by my HOA,
Okay.
and then the other is to hold an event where we launch it, where
Okay.
we have the whole neighborhood come.
Okay.
We only have about 60 people that live in the neighborhood, so get them to come and bring a book and have a party.
Mhm.
So first on the agenda is so here's a couple of things I'd like to talk about today.
Okay.
One is a little bit more on the library box itself. I've done some research, so I have an idea of dimensions and style. The other is a little bit more on the goals of the project and the event itself. Third is how to get our HOA to approve it. I could use some
Hard
suggestions
parts.
there, yes.
Okay.
The fourth item is our event concepts. What do we want this event to look like? What are some ideas where we could get people excited about
Mhm.
coming? And then, of course, how do we measure success? That's the last.
Ooh, that's a
Item.
hard one.
Yes, it's always hard, isn't it? Especially with an event. So, first of all, library box, there are, like I said, there are 90,000 of them. I have found a style, if you think, you don't know my neighborhood, but I think if I go generic, sort of generic, there's some, all different kinds, but really traditional looking,
Mm-hmm.
with a two shelves,
Mm-hmm.
that holds the most amount of books.
Okay.
And even with 60 people, what do you think? I mean, do you think 60 books is
Plenty.
plenty?
Yes.
Too many?
No, it's fine. Probably fine.
What do you think the rotation is of these books?
I rotate. What does rotation mean? Sorry.
Well, you bring one and you take one. Right. So
okay.
how often do you think people cycle through?
Well,
Have
based
you
on the
have you
library
noticed
in my in the lunchroom at my previous job, some books sat there forever, and some books just. So probably half of them sat there for a while, but you never know. Somebody may go, you know, I've always wanted to read that, and then half of them rotated constantly.
So that kind of
So-
ties to success criteria. I'm just going to jump ahead. Do you think that's a good measurement of how often the books cycle
Oh
through?
yeah, of course. Because if you're seeing the same books in there over a period of time and those books don't change, that's a sign there's not a lot of activity. So a sign of activity would be, I saw this book last week. I
Mhm.
don't see it this. I'm doing like number of new books per week or something like that.
Oh,
And
that's great.
and then what do you do with the books that sit there for too long? Do you donate them to what?
Right. So they have a guide on the website about the little library box, free little library it's called, and they have you're supposed to assign a monitor.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta look up what I would probably volunteer to be the first monitor who makes sure the books are fresh or damaged or
Mhm.
not. But that's a good idea. What do we do? Maybe the community decides what we do with the books that don't move. Maybe
Or
we-
you could even, that might be your hook with the HOA. What's your favorite charity, and we'll donate the books to them.
Oh, that's good.
That's clever.
Okay, that's great. I love that though. The number of new books per
Mhm.
week
Mm.
is
Or
a
month.
great way, or month.
Whatever you're
You
gonna.
know, well, it's an over 55 community, so
Okay.
I bet there are a lot of people that read,
Oh,
right?
yeah, of course they do.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so too. All right, that's fabulous. So that kind of segues into the goals, which I think there are two goals. One is get people to use the garden
Mhm.
more. I never see anybody in the garden. Never once since I've moved there have I seen another
there's
person in the
benches?
garden. There's benches and roses and picnic benches and barbecue. So
Oh my
I think
gosh.
it's a great way for people to maybe have a reason to come in. I go in and walk my dog in there, but maybe it gives other people a reason to walk in there. And then the other would be sort of get to know the neighbors.
Mhm.
You know, we
Yeah.
have such a small community.
Mhm.
Doesn't that seem like good,
Uh,
good
yep.
tools? So with that in mind, I could use some suggestions on how to approach my homeowners association. You have experience
I
with
do,
this.
good and bad. And first of all, you're gonna have to take pictures of what you wanna do,
Okay.
and you're gonna, if you can, do a picture of where you wanna place it. You don't have to
Okay.
Photoshop it there so they can picture it, but at least show them exactly where like with 100 pictures, because HOAs are all about, they take pictures of my trash cans.
Okay.
They do. They're crazy. So you want to make sure that they really see everything you have in mind, so that they can say that looks beautiful.
Oh, great. Okay. What do you think they care about?
I think they care about a sense of community. I think they'd love to have something that brought everybody together, but I also think you have to have a plan for upkeep of it. So if it breaks, if it falls, do you have a budget? Do you have a little emergency fund put aside? Who's gonna pay for it in 5 years?
Wow. Good insight.
This is all really good. You have some experience with
Sadly.
this and maintenance.
Well, and they can be great though, and the good thing about this is you're bringing together your community. So a lot of people don't attend HOA meetings. They just
Mm-mm.
let them do their thing as long as everything's working.
Mhm.
They only complain to them. They never say thank you to the HOA. So HOAs could use a little love.
Mhm.
So this event is going to be really nice because everyone's going to be together and they can say, gee, maybe we should have an emergency evacuation plan, or gee, thank you for painting the fences, or
Yeah.
you know, and hopefully you can talk to some of your neighbors and say, let's make this positive for the HOA.
Right. Lobby the neighbors.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Grassroots.
get some neighbors to come and speak on your behalf
Okay.
at the HOA
At the way
meeting.
we have one coming up. Okay. Get neighbors. Oh, wonderful.